Questions are there, or
Yeah,
how we to go?
you can just comment video. Yes, you and the questions will be sorry. Questions will be like as we were discussing. It will be first for the context. You can introduce yourself, your experience, and all, and a bit of the online class that you took, and if it is part of your job, all that a brief of that will help. And
Yeah,
then
sure.
what is lately in your mind in which you would like to reflect on today? So that will be in between. I might have a question or two, and yeah. So
Sure,
go
sure.
ahead, please.
Okay, perfect. So, good evening to all. My name is Uday Purandare. I am at the moment based in Pune. Uh, by profession, I'm a consultant in supply chain and project management. Also, I teach in Pune and around. So, colleges around Pune. Uh, in supply chain operations, project management, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Uh, a commerce graduate born and brought in Mumbai and did my master's in tourism and then uh, did a diploma in supply chain from Bellinkers, then some certifications from IIM Bangalore on entrepreneurship and innovation under Professor Sheshadri, who is now the chair of entrepreneurship and innovation at IIM Bangalore. He was with ISB Hyderabad and then Ahmedabad, and then he's back at IIM Bangalore. Then a supply chain certification from IIM Rohtak, an advanced certification in supply chain and analytics from IIT Mumbai, and then also did a master's in global logistics. Uh, my journey is completely different. I mean, my background, though commerce, and I was in travel and tourism for nearly about 9 years. Then went to Australia to do my master's in international trade. Came back, worked for a year in Thomas Cook. Um, then again started on my own on travel. So almost travel experience is around 35 years. The core is customized holidays within India and around the world. 2006, I moved on to getting certifications. I wanted to work in development world. So I did some couple of certifications from UN on humanitarian logistics, needs, emergencies, then assessment in emergencies. And that helped me to respond in emergencies and disasters from 2006. So I've responded in emergencies for all this time around India, in Bihar, Orissa, Assam, Uttarakhand, Andhra Pradesh. And I'm a trained trainer. I train UNICEF professionals in humanitarian logistics till date. Um, from there, when I did a diploma in supply chain, I said, okay, let me also share my knowledge. So teaching came in mind, and I was fortunate enough to get assignments. First assignment with MIT ADPU in Pune, subsequently with Symbiosis, Flame, IMED, and the present teaching with Great Lakes, Great Learning, that is where founded by Bala Balachandran, who was ex-IY lead professor in entrepreneurship and innovation at Purdue. So Great Learning is a foundation from Bala Balachandran. Unfortunately, he's no more. But these are some of the best professors whom I really cherish or dedicate my knowledge. It was right from Peter Drucker where I started, Peter Drucker. Drucker still is relevant, I see. And I often quote a lot of Drucker. From Drucker to Nitin Noria, C.K. Prahlad, Bala Balachandran, Ram Charan, Professor Govindarajan, who is still there, all of these. C.K. Prahlad and Bala Balachandran is no more. Nitin Noria still is there, teaches at Harvard. They have, I feel, revolutionized what is entrepreneurship and innovation. And me being a first generation entrepreneur myself, I carry that passion in teaching. A lot of consultancy happens for SMEs and MSMEs from my side now around Pune. And I, inculcate entrepreneurship and innovation in it. There's no point in teaching, I feel. If you're going to keep telling people that do JIT or introduce this or do that and that, that's bookish. Uh, yeah, I respect that. It doesn't mean that I don't respect. It has its own respect. All these Japanese concepts, theories, tools, technologies, innovations, everything is relevant. But unless it is not put into practice, it has no meaning. So when I'm teaching, my maximum teaching is to MBA students, second year operations management or supply chain, is with a lot of examples. And I feel if the examples are there, then they are able to relate. Um, and when they relate, they are able to hopefully uh, get in. And there's no need to even say that because probably because these are experienced students from 5 years to 20 years, I wouldn't call them students. Many of them have better knowledge than me, working, implementing, practicing. But at many stages, I end up also giving examples of how the revolution of industrialization turned in countries like United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and the latest being China, which is one of the most acknowledged example in the world in terms of manufacturing, putting best practices, delivering world-class products. So they can have an iPhone worth $1 and they will manufacture a genuine iPhone and see the variance in manufacturing. Now, this is not easy. It's very tough. For all those who are in manufacturing will understand what I mean. So when it comes to examples of India and we saying that we are world class, I don't ridicule India. I only go to say that India has to rise. There's no point in saying I'm the best. In my territory, in my house in Pune, I can say with my qualification, knowledge, diversified experience, I'm the best. But my only best thing is that I still work with UNICEF. That's my privilege because UN works on a different level. But of course, there are huge gaps. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm again ridiculing them. There are a lot of gaps within me, and I can learn from you and all of them. And when these students are there with me when I'm teaching, maybe sometimes at 50, 60, 20, 40, I say that each one of you having 5 years of experience into 20 students is 100 years. And what I have is 35. So you have more. Please share. Please share because I need to learn. So they come from companies, maybe Larsen and Toubro, Tata Consultancy, Tata Motors, Cummins India, some are with Infosys. I mean, they come from various diversified, working. And I always tell them that I have to learn more. The passion continues. So that's the journey for the last 36 years.
Great
My,
attitude. I
yeah,
must appreciate it.
right. Sunday's class was uh, this was PGPMX program with great learning, operation management students. They will be submitting the capstone project and they graduate. This is the almost last bit of work, what they will do. This capstone project is somehow unique in the sense that it's not a typical project like an MBA student that I give them do this and then they come and they go here, there, they get scattered and they come back, they make 50 pages. Great Learning has done it very well with their capstones. The interim report only is of 1,500 words, and their final project is only of 2,500 words. So they can't keep talking and writing the whole world. Plagiarism is observed. They are very focused about what they are expecting. There are marks at each stage. So the interim report has 50 and the final has 100. At each stage, they have marks. They're expected to, say, for example, if they're doing SWOT analysis or Porter's 5, or if the operation management is doing MBQA analysis, the expectations are very precise. At each stage, as a mentor and a professor, I have to remind them that this is not any typical capstone. What is also expected out of you is that you not only contribute in this capstone, but you go and put it back into practice, because denim awards are world-class manufacturing awards. It's not only for manufacturers, but even Infosys as a company, for example, can put it into practice and get into this world-class services. Now, what is world-class services? Say, for example, workforce management or vendor management or revenue generation, finance, customer relationship management. Say, for example, workforce. Now, what are you doing for workforce? There's no point in saying that we have a box over there and you are expected to give suggestions and we'll go through it. And if it is good, we will implement and we will congratulate. That's not workforce management. Today, it's very difficult to sustain workforce. Go to any company, the biggest challenge is they say he came, he worked here for a year and he's gone because he gets a better salary. People who are in the age bracket of 35 to 60 today will agree with this fact. Salary is not important. We need a good company, good working environment, a good boss, a good team, some growth, which makes me feel to work here. I'm not a jumper. I'm not a leopard or a cheetah who will keep jumping. But if this is not there, and if human resources is just going to be about recruitment and salary increment, then probably you're not involved with your employee. And
Yes.
if you have that attitude of, Sangeeta can come and go, I'll find Uday or A or C, then companies, and this is somehow I've seen in the last 25 years, many of my friends and colleagues who have stuck with one company say, I'm enjoying here. So I had to tell these students that if you want to be good bosses, it's about overall development. It's not about you. My times, and I don't know your age, but I wouldn't ask, but my times, 50 was a CEO.
Yeah.
If you're not 50, you're not a CEO.
Yeah.
Today, the youngest CEO is 28. And he is a grad of MBA, grad of 22 years old. So in 6 years, he's become a CEO material. It's not about politics. It's not about, ये boss को मस्का मार रहा है, या तो, he has a sister-in-law, daughter-in-law, brother, father, mother. It is about delivering.
Yeah.
And if you are able to have that vision of being in the world map, you got to lead. It's not a joke to lead Microsoft or Google or Coke or Mercedes-Benz or Godrej or Tata's. Take Indian names. Tata's are synonymous. Reliance, synonymous in their own way. They have their own hiccups. We'll not get into hiccups because every business has a hiccup. But when I see Reliance Jamnagar refinery, which is a benchmark refinery in the world, that is world-class manufacturing. There is no other refinery in the world as Reliance Jamnagar. Out of one product, they have 7 byproducts. This refinery was constructed in a record time, 6 months prior to its expectations. So this is learning. This is where we are seeing something. People can complain, they will see Reliance is like this, they're all okay. It's business. You have to come on the map. You got to be in the world. You have to have the best practices. You have to put people to test. So, with a lot of reading, I read a lot of books. Just recently, I donated my about 140 books to MIT 85 PU library. That was now almost like 32 years of my collection. 150 books on operations project. management, entrepreneurship innovation, strategic management, marketing, branding. What is why branding? Why does Nike spend 100 crores, 200 crores on just branding? Why do they pay Sachin Tendulkar or Usain Bolt? A lot of people laugh at it, but then you got to create a brand. You got to create and sustain it. These have become, companies who are looking not for today, but for next 15, 25, 35, 50 years. There's a legacy. You got to continue it. The companies like Tata's, Godrej have continued with legacy. But somehow we still have a long way to go. Now, I don't want to compare India and China because it's wrong. I feel always, why look into somebody else's plate? You look within. What's happening at my place? How good are we? Why aren't we good? Why are we not ready to invest? Why can't we have the best technology? Why can't we have best practices? Why can't we train our people? Why can't we invest in our people? Why can't we sustain it? So this goes in teaching. A lot of experience and reading comes. Uh, Case studies is something I consider, so much of valuable because there's at each line there is some depth. And though it's not necessary, I don't conclude or jump. I love to try to analyze it. You got to analyze and see the perspective. What is making her or him think that? What's the logic? What's the rationale? Now, many of them will not open up, obviously, because everybody has a confidentiality agreement at their workplace. They have their own commitments. You can't ridicule companies, which is right, because that's not the way to go. Mistakes are everywhere. But when I give that example, I tell them, don't pick up the name, pick up that example and analyze it and think, what could you do? Where have they gone wrong? What best can be done? What should they have tried? Or many times a lot of things come. The management is not interested, etc., etc., which is also a challenge. There are challenges, there are hiccups. These are not only in Indian companies, they are worldwide. So that's the way teaching goes. Each capstone project teaching, operations teaching, and the evaluating project is fun. Um, till date, I must have about 400 students. That's over 400 years. That's what I've been associated with. Operations and capstone evaluation, marking, mentoring. Each time I learn something. Each time the quest is, how can I improve? So this time when they lost marks, I had to tell the students, your interim report, you lost about 8 marks, 32 out of 40. Final is about, out of 100. And with your experience of 5 people with at least 8 years of average, you already have 40 years of experience. So there's no room for losing marks. It's not about the marks. It's about the work, what you do. I don't care about the marks. Marks was something in 1990s, my time. If you can't get 100 out of 100, you are called as a misfit. You're not an engineer, you're a doctor, you're a misfit. See the world today and how things have changed. And that's good. Students are getting opportunity. So with these students, I'm not worried about either. I said, where have you lost marks? Where have you fallen short with your knowledge and experience? And now today with Google, I tell them, you don't need to copy Google, what it, churns out. You need to learn from there how it can be done smartly or effectively or efficiently. Now, if you can't do still that, that means you're not only you're failing in your project, but you're also failing your teacher and mentor. That means I'm not teaching you well. Now, if that is the case, then I don't mind taking an extra class, free. But your success is my teaching. And that's all also not about my marks. It's because I want you to understand it and put it in practice where you're working. If you were thinking that this MBA is going to be a piece of paper to make you go up, yeah, it may. But in real time, at your workplaces, whatever it is, you work for A company or B company, irrespective. Remember, I said, I have to remind them that you're in the world of competition. 1990s, getting something from United States to India was like, no, you won't get. Now you get almost 70% of things which are manufactured in United States in India. How about Indian products going over there? Doesn't go. Why? No, they have trade tariffs, barriers. I said, no, it is retrospective tariffs. If they pinch us, we pinch them. This thing is, then I have to go and tell them. Look at the example of Mahindra tractors. John Deere is one of the world's number one tractor manufacturing company. They were the innovators, and they are number one in United States. What does Mahindra and Mahindra do? John Deere had a particular capacity, horsepower capacity of tractors, nothing below that. Mahindra and Mahindra goes there, finds, surveys, and says, we will only manufacture from this horsepower to this horsepower. Bang, they're successful. Now, John Deere is sales have gone down. The American farmers are saying, I only wanted 50 horsepower. Mahindra is giving, it's within my budget. I buy that. Why do I buy 250 horsepower tractor? Marketing, research. And they have a manufacturing base in United States now. So likewise, I said, Toyota manufactures, a Japanese company comes to America, sets up a shop in Virginia, on the other side of the world, throws out GM and Ford, and is number one in United States. If they can do, many times in operations, I get an exam. We have vendor problem, we have this problem. I said, understand, we consider vendor as somebody else. In Japan, the vendor is a part of Toyota family. Today, with Toyota and Honda, there are third generation of vendors who are associated. Third generation means my grandfather was associated with Toyota, then my father, and now me. That's legacy. And Toyota acknowledges that though we have research engineers, development people, professional designers, and everything, our vendors are our biggest contributors to the product development. In fact, they can come to my cabin at any time and say, this is wrong. And I don't tell them, please go and meet him, he, she, and then come to me. I walk with him down to the quality and design team and say, okay, guys, let's sit. What is he saying? What's happening? What can be done? Can we try? Is it practical? Is it sensible? Is it economical? Is it smart enough? Is it going to benefit? That's world class. I said, unless we don't get in Pune, I can say I'm the best. If you ask anyone in the world, do you know Uday Purandare? Everybody will say, we got damn nothing to do with this man. I've never heard. His qualifications good, okay. Never came across, has never worked with an MNC, has never gone, working internationally. I travel around half of the world, but if I work with Atlas Copco or Greaves or Tata Motors, and I'll go to Japan, Germany, Mercedes-Benz, Germany, he has got nothing on the CV. Now, what is he talking about? So that's something helps. And that's my small journey. And we'll continue to teach as long, whatever. Do a lot of not yoga because now again some gap has come. A lot of meditation happens. I do follow Art of Living, But with only meditation part, I don't get any other time now. But I love to do that, art of living, and lead a lot of ancient scriptures. So not too much of it, but yeah, there's a lot of wealth coming from there in terms of knowledge. There's a long way to go, but yeah, it's trying to balance. It's a mismatch. Can't achieve. But just thank my dad because though he was a metallurgist and he was with the Atomic Energy Commission, he was an entrepreneur. He allowed me to start and allowed me to get exposed to the world, meet people, learn, talk, see some trial and errors, some mistakes, some setbacks, late education. So obviously, education in the sense, well, I mean, till some point of time, I said, no, I need a piece of paper. Then I realized, okay, when I get hands-on experience, uh, what do I do? And obviously, it was too late, and all the companies were like, if you've not worked for A, B, C, or D, we don't recruit you. That's the way. You'll find seldom people saying, okay, let's work, let's talk. The small SMEs and SMEs are ready because they want somebody who can push, guide, control, encourage, uh, and no, don't worry, हो जाएगा, ट्राई करो. नो, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है घर में बैठ के कुछ होने वाला है. वो घर पे बैठने के दिन चला गया. And with so much of competition, survival is very tough and it's going to be more difficult now. It's not going to get easy. So I feel, yeah, satisfied with whatever small bit of thing what I've done in this 36 years of my life of working, 18 to 55, a long journey.
So that is where I wanted to say something.
Yeah.
So this group that I have asked to come in, are you able to hear me properly?
Yeah, I can.
So this group is for people like you. I always wanted to engage with people who are deep thinkers. Uh, so that we can go from success to significance. You realize that there are gaps. We have a lot to do before we become world class. That is what you have realized, right? And it is external, how much I don't know, but internal, I understand to a great extent. By that I mean mm, that attitude-wise there is some gap to understand the potential in another person, irrespective of the education and, as you said, hands-on. Then the number of years increases, and if you have five talented people of each having 5 years of experience, that is a great concept. Everybody knows how many actually realize, internalize. So this group is for that. I have been uh, trying to bring in such kind of people so that no, it can be made a revenue model wherein it will not be very high-fi, like very high cost, high priced education or mentoring. It will be affordable. At sometime I also think of having 8 billion people mentor each other, no, with even if $1 each, it becomes like uh, 8 billion, right? So I wanted that kind of. So it is a trillion
Truly. Yeah.
revenue model that always come to my mind. I'm not very clear as to how. One thing I knew, the people who are deep thinkers can do it. So that is why they grow. And if from time to time I say something, that is because of the way, the trend that I have been observing and I am experimenting. It is not more than that. But the deep down, my thing is a person who is working at workplace, if he is not calm, he is not going to make the globe calmer, you know. So, what is the way for him to get calmer where the attitude is like this, where his experience is not always appreciated? It is just the degree. Of course, things are changing. People like you are more and more coming, but there are still very few uh, who will appreciate all this. So there is a big, our population, a big chunk of people who might not have very formal education, but they have wisdom. You know, given the orientation that we are blessed with, you know, the kind of spiritual orientation that we are born with or we grow up with. So this is just a proposition for you. Like I and you think in the same manner. Keep on thinking. And these Sunday classes are those, not classes, sessions only, 30 minutes. Initially, actually, I was doing for 3 hours, but that is too much of a time for all the Sundays. So, for only 30 minutes, we'll brainstorm just like we did last Sunday. Last Sunday, we did, right? Yeah. So, uh, that is what we will do. We will like think together. And I wanted that those sessions to be not one way. It has to be brainstorm.
Oh,
And one idea, then you say something, everybody says something. So last week of June, I'm proposing a 3 hour session, a brainstorming session with 5 to 7 people. Although there are 30 people in the group, but I don't see that all of them will come. 5 to 7 with your kind of people, like at that level, might have time to come. And whoever comes, even 3 people are there, the brainstorming will happen. And let us create something which pushes the kind of resource that we have. No, it is a sheer wastage if we don't do anything about it. Let
oh,
us do something. And in the process, I don't, not only I think, you also think it has to be a revenue model because when people don't pay, they don't pay attention, you know. So the Guru Dakshina kind of thing. When they do not pay, it doesn't actually gets inculcated. So
sure.
yeah. So this is the idea, which is why this group. I have been trying since last 4 5 years, but how to recognize people who are deep thinkers. There is no way
Wait,
for me to do.
yeah. Probably, if there is an outline that we have to have like-minded people, then our objective, yeah, because I'll tell you what, if I ask 10 friends of mine that will you mind coming as a guest lecturer or a teacher or a part-time teacher or an online teacher, professionals, nobody is interested. It's not about the money. The thing has now happened. Many of them are either busy or they feel that teaching or consulting has no meaning. It's like giving free knowledge. It's about person not valuing you. Again, in the West, If you're going to say somebody, he or she is 15 years experience, 20 years experience, and has been invited to speak or guide and all, people flock. People flock because they see value coming out of it. Then it's not about money, it's all about the knowledge what's going to be coming in. Here in India, being, as you may agree or not, there's a huge population. Um, Getting a degree out of a college is thought as gospel. Abhi mere ko paper mil gaya. I'm a graduate. So engineer, doctor, whatever. Then comes the best part. You land in a job and almost 60% say ये क्या हो रहा है मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है और इंडस्ट्री बोल रहा है ये लोग तो कुछ काम के नहीं है इसको कैसे बाहर भगाने का ये सोचो. Now, in between are people like us who are trying to blend or bridge the gap. But the world, and today because of technology, Google, AI, ChatGPT, now everybody says, I know everything. So most of them are now saying, now that the world is so empowered, learned, enlightened, हमारा तो जरूरत ही नहीं है. जाओ सीखो. So the old teachers still are there. People like me will go and learn and listen to Govind Rajan, will read, what is he trying to say? Why is he saying? What is the thought process? I mean, every time when you're hearing or reading something, whatever possible, you're trying to just think between your own brain. इसके पीछे सोच क्या है? हो क्या रहा है? क्यों बोल रहे हैं? कहाँ से आया? कितना एक्सपीरियंस है पीछे? क्या ट्रायल एंड एरर किया है? क्यों फेल हो गए? इतना पैसा गया या इतना रेवेन्यू बढ़ गया? सो वी आर नॉट ओवरवेल्म्ड और नॉट इवन गेटिंग कि लॉस हो गया. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है. मेनी ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री इन द वर्ल्ड लॉस हो गए. सो सो डू यू थिंक दैट योर कंपनी इज गोइंग टू मेक एवरी ईयर $1 billion? ऐसा कोई भी कंपनी नहीं. So yeah, between all of this, getting that people coming to the yeah, yeah, we need to have that narrative where we say, this is what it is, this is what has been thought, this is where we want you. How can we work together and what can be done? So the brains start throwing things, or probably keeping fingers crossed, and probably the objective what you
Another
have.
thing, yeah, another thing is there ki people are getting into trouble, you know. If you trust in the universe, how it nudges you if you are not getting into your potential. So many people are getting into trouble not because of their lack of potential. They are getting into trouble because they are not utilizing their potential. Do you believe in
But
that? So I see a
yeah.
lot of people. So
You're correct. You're correct. Because you don't, what happens is nobody wants to accept that I don't have a knowledge.
yeah,
Yeah, that becomes a flaw in you.
yeah,
That means that, "Arey, how can it be? I've got 30, I can see today. 35 years experience. ठीक है, but unless you tells me something new, what's the harm? What's new? What's wrong? There may be an area which I never have heard. There may be an area which I've never covered. There may be an area which I have not even dreamt about. So, but that acceptance is very difficult. The I comes in between.
yeah, yeah. So mm, the offer here is networking, right? Those many people are there who are experiencing that vacuum, intellectual vacuum, you may say, like knowing too much, but there is no peace of mind because there is no satisfaction because they do not experience their significance. Everybody is a PhD or
Ah,
something,
ah,
something. So there is no advantage, there is no difference, no edge, no competitive edge. That will come automatically if they start contributing to something which matters the most to the nation or to the globe. Right. That
correct.
that goal is not there, no? That goal is missing. Like, oh, I am getting a fat salary, and I am living
Correct.
comfortably is what is going on. But that doesn't give you satisfaction or the purpose you are
Correct.
called
Correct.
to.
Correct.
So
Agree.
that is missing, and somehow we need to figure out that ourselves. That is what I am doing. So actually, when I got introduced to it, there was no introduction, just two, three things, and I asked you whether you would be into my WhatsApp group. There are people who have been into my WhatsApp group two or three times, and they have no, they have gone. And today, two, three people have joined back, and that because mm, they are observing me on LinkedIn. Um, so whatever you are writing, posting, everything is being observed. Only
Correct.
thing that they do not know how to reach out. So irrespective of what they say, even if they say they are not interested, I'm going to ask. So that is what I have thought. And whatever number we are, slowly it will grow up. I'm dead sure because in my LinkedIn, it is already filled up because I have this ordinary LinkedIn. Previously, it was uh, limitless. Beyond 30,000 also were there. But now it doesn't allow to go beyond 30,000. So that is why I had to drop many people. Even 30,000, if out of that, even if 10% come, or say 1% also come, that is a sizable number. We
Sure.
don't have to go
Sure.
to the whole world to do our thing. So we need to make a difference. So thereby we achieve our significance. We do whatever. At least we have the satisfaction that we have made that difference. So that nudge
Perfect.
for
Perfect. Perfect. Sure. Sure.
was out there.
Definitely. Definitely. So we'll definitely keep in touch and we'll go
Sure.
step by step and
Yeah.
see how things work, and then we'll keep in coordinating.
Yeah. So last
Yeah.
Sunday is the 3 hours workshop there. But before that, only 30 minutes every Sunday.
Right.
Also, I
So
do.
probably you may see me having some troubles on Sundays because grid learning sessions are either on Saturday or Sundays. So now this Sunday I have from 4 to 5:30, and on 29th I have from 2 to 6.
So then on Friday night,
Fridays is fine. Yeah, Friday is fine. Friday is fine. Both the coming Sunday and the next Sunday, both the Sundays are committed. So that's because of the teaching. And then the mentoring session goes following. It's 45 minutes teaching and then 45 minutes of 1 hour of mentoring. So it overlaps. At least till now, that is the only commitment. No
okay.
other teaching commitment is there. They obviously keep coming up with something new. But whenever you will coordinate in case I have a problem, I'll drop the line.
Yes. So
Yeah,
if you are not available on Sundays, then Friday will be okay. Wednesday
sure.
is 9:30 will be
Yeah,
okay. So these are the three
sure.
days where I have kept 30 minutes.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So then, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Have a good evening. Good night.
Yeah, right.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.